An old man was burying landmines when he accidentally dug up a piece of gold. Excited, he quickly cleared away the surrounding dirt and discovered that his hands were touching nothing but gold bars. This wasn't just some gold. He had stumbled upon an entire gold mine. The old man broke the gold into smaller chunks, packed them into a bag, and planned to go into the city the next day to exchange them for cash. But on his way, he ran into a retreating squad of arrogant and disheveled soldiers. He had no intention of engaging with them until a shirtless soldier raised his rifle to shoot him. Luckily, an officer stopped the soldier and scoffed, "Don't waste bullets. This old man won't last 5 minutes." Sure enough, before long, the old man encountered another group of scrappy soldiers. Their blonde leader spotted the bag on the horse and ordered his men to check it. When they discovered it was full of gold bars, the blonde soldier laughed wildly and immediately pointed his gun at the old man, planning to kill him and take the loot. But the old man had already gripped the hilt of his blade. At the moment the soldier let his guard down, the old man spun around and stabbed through his head. The others rushed in, but the old man didn't panic. He grabbed one soldier's gun barrel, crushed his knee with a stomp, and countered another's shovel attack by landing blow after blow to his abdomen. He used the body to shield himself from gunfire, snatched a rifle, and with one shot under the chin, took out the last attacker. Gunfire echoed from behind. Something was wrong. The officer ordered a halt and rushed back to check. From the carnage, it was clear the old man was no ordinary person. A dying soldier handed the officer a gold bar. As he held it, the officer realized that old man is walking money, a once-in-a-lifetime chance for fortune. Meanwhile, the old man was still on the move. Suddenly, a tank came rumbling from behind. Knowing danger was near, he fled as machine gun fire erupted, but miraculously, all the bullets missed him. The officer didn't chase right away. He waited because ahead lay a minefield. The old man, unaware, had already entered it. As he stroked his horse, a mine exploded. The officer grinned smugly and led his men forward. The old man, dazed but alive, awoke in pain. His loyal horse, however, was dead. Mines surrounded him, but with enemy troops closing in, he ignored the risk and started gathering the scattered gold. Surprisingly, the officer didn't order his immediate execution. He watched the old man collect every last piece. When the old man slyly picked up a rock as well, the officer finally gave the kill order. The old man hurled the rock, creating smoke. The officer panicked and ordered his men to fire blindly. Bullets rained down like a storm, but the old man blocked them all with a makeshift shield. Thinking he was surely dead, the officer ordered a ceasefire and sent a soldier to check. Suddenly, a mine exploded beneath the soldier, tearing him apart. The officer sent 2 more soldiers to flank, but they met the same fate. To avoid further losses, he sent 2 POWs ahead to clear the path, tanks behind them. The old man had escaped. He collapsed under an abandoned vehicle and began treating his wounds. He used a belt to tie his leg and, without anesthesia, dug out the bullet, passing out from the pain. Eventually, enemy soldiers arrived, bringing a tracking dog this time. The noise woke the old man. He quickly hid under the car. Soldiers didn't see him, but the dog would soon smell him. So he had a clever idea. He punctured the fuel tank, letting gasoline soak his body to mask his scent. It worked. The dog lost the trail. However, a soldier noticed the leaking fuel and stopped the vehicle. As others inspected, the old man snuck out and dashed toward the river, only to be spotted. He was shot in the leg, but before they could finish him, he lit the gasoline on his body and jumped into the river. The officer knew he'd resurface for air. When he did, they fired. Red ripples spread across the water. 10 minutes back, no sign. They assumed he was dead and sent soldiers to retrieve the gold. Instead, a soldier had his throat slit underwater. The old man bit his neck to breathe. More blood filled the river. A second soldier went in, never came back. The third tried to flee, but was too scared to move. Under pressure, he rowed the boat to the far shore. The officer ordered him shot for desertion. The old man surfaced and ran ashore, dodging machine gun fire with the soldier's corpse as a shield. Finally, he made it back to his hometown, only to find it in ruins, burned to the ground. Exhausted, he collapsed in the rubble. He awoke to barking. His dog had returned. But something was wrong. There was a grenade strapped to it. He removed it just in time, but passed out and was captured. They didn't shoot him. Instead, they hanged him with a rope. 10 minutes later, they thought he was dead and left with the gold. But he was still alive, too far to kick a nail for support. He had an idea. He jammed rebar into his bullet wound, using it to prop himself up and survive the night. The next morning, a fighter jet flew overhead. The wind loosened the frame, sliding the rope down. He fell to the ground and saw 2 pilots approaching. One tried to shoot him. The old man knocked him out with a leg sweep. The other got bricked in the head. Now, with 1 gold bar and a plane, he had a plan. Time to take back what was his. Cut to the officer's convoy, stopped by a plane on the road. They opened the hatch. Inside were 2 dead pilots, one hanging from the same rope used on the old man. The officer panicked. "The Finnish immortal is back." A female prisoner laughed and said, "Deathless war god has returned." Soldiers mocked her until the convoy ahead was suddenly obliterated. She peeked out the window, got yanked out and crushed by a tank. The women seized control of a truck and fired wildly. The old man was also under fire from a tank. He dodged, grabbed the tank crew, and threw them off. The tank driver fled in fear. A motorbike team approached, saw the old man's eyes, and bolted. He hijacked the bike and gave chase. The officer reached the airport. To keep the gold, he killed his own men and took off. Just then, the old man arrived on the trike and fired at the cockpit, but the plane took off anyway. The officer thought he'd escape, but the old man had embedded an iron rod into the plane and was hanging below. He clung to the landing gear, hammered at the fuselage, and on the 49th strike, broke through. The officer heard something and grabbed his rifle. As he opened the door, the iron rod flew at him. A brutal mid-air brawl followed. The old man, injured and tired, was beaten badly. The officer wrapped his fists with a rope and metal hook, whipping the old man brutally. Just before dying, the old man spotted a missile. He grabbed the rope and hooked it onto the missile. Then he rushed to the cockpit, took control of the plane, and crashed it into a swamp. Thanks to the mud's cushioning, he survived. In the end, the old man walked into a bank and exchanged the gold for 9 million Finnish mark.